Greenville, Mississippi, March 5th, 2017. A town of slow Sundays, second chances, and secrets no one speaks about. The rain that morning felt like judgment. Gray skies, closed umbrellas, and a coffin no one expected to bury. Her name was Ayanna Brooks, 19 years old, college freshman, soft-spoken, gifted, the kind of girl who turned silence into poetry. Now she was gone. They said it was an overdose. But her mother, Tasha Brooks, never bought that. She stood at the front of the church, hands trembling over her daughter's photo. No tears, just fire in her eyes. "She didn't do drugs," she whispered, "and someone out there knows what really happened." Nobody responded. Not the police, not the college, not even her pastor. Because in this town, you don't ask too many questions, unless you want to disappear too. Ayanna's body was found behind a dollar store dumpster, 2:14 a.m. Face down, cold. Paramedics said fentanyl. Heroin-laced. An unlabeled baggie was found clutched in her palm. One needle. One dose. It looked open and shut. Sheriff Douglas McLean signed off within 36 hours. No signs of foul play. Toxicology confirmed the cocktail. Case closed. But here's the thing. Ayanna hated needles. Was terrified of them. She had a medical history proving it. So how did a girl who couldn't handle blood inject herself? Tasha kept asking. And that's when the town turned on her. 2 weeks later, someone spray-painted "She asked for it" on the Brooks garage. Tasha reported it. The report vanished. At Ayanna's college dorm, her roommate Jordan found her journal. Pages torn out. Entries missing. One line survived. "If anything happens to me, tell my mom it wasn't my fault." It was dated 3 days before she died. Still, no investigation reopened. No news coverage. No justice. Only silence. On April 2nd, nearly a month after the funeral, Tasha received a text from Ayanna's old number. It was a single photo. Grainy. Nighttime. Ayanna, alive, looking scared. No message. No number traceable. She took it to the police. Sheriff McLean rolled his eyes. "Probably a cruel prank," he said. Case stayed closed, but Tasha didn't. Tasha hired a private investigator, ex-cop, name Malik Tennyson. He'd worked corruption cases in Jackson, lost his badge when he spoke up. First thing he did? Interview students. Jordan, the roommate, cracked fast. "She was scared of someone named Trey," she said. "Trey who?" "Trey Mason, Jr., football star, son of Judge Raymond Mason. Same judge who oversaw Ayanna's toxicology certification." Malik dug deeper. Found Ayanna had filed a Title IX complaint. It disappeared. Guess who processed it? The dean, Harlan Price, who happened to be Trey Mason's godfather. Malik requested Ayanna's campus security footage. The night she died. It had a 6-hour blackout, from midnight to 6 a.m. Same time she allegedly overdosed. Same time she was found. Too convenient. Too perfect. Malik raised the alarm. 3 days later, his car was broken into. Laptop gone. Notebook gone. Flash drive with Ayanna's photo. Wiped. He didn't report it. Because now, he knew they were watching. In July, 5 months after the funeral, a grand jury was quietly assembled. The charge? Tampering with university property, filed against Tasha Brooks. Yes, the mother. They claimed she trespassed on campus. They said she harassed students. All she did? Ask questions. Sheriff McLean personally escorted her to the courtroom. There, sitting in the back row, was Trey Mason, smiling. Beside him, Judge Raymond Mason. Tasha was released on bail, but the media painted her as unstable. She lost her job. Church stopped returning her calls. Friends kept their distance. August 3rd, court reconvened. Malik was there. So was Ayanna's cousin Kayon. But the biggest surprise? A federal observer from the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. Someone had tipped them off. Still, the judge ruled against reopening Ayanna's case. Lack of evidence. That's when Tasha stood, voice shaking. "She's not dead," she said. "She's hiding." Gasps. The judge slammed his gavel. "Order!" Tasha stared straight at Trey. "You didn't kill her. You scared her." Trey didn't blink. 2 months later, October 14th, it was a sentencing hearing for Tasha's trespassing. The courtroom was packed. Reporters, activists, students. Tasha sat in silence, lawyer by her side. Malik in the gallery. Suddenly, a door creaked open. A woman entered, hair pulled back, skin pale, eyes scanning the room. Gasps rippled across the pews. It was her, Ayanna, alive. The courtroom still hadn't recovered from the shock. Security had rushed her out. Reporters outside were losing their minds. The crowd, hysterical, confused, some even angry. How is she alive? Then who's buried? Was this staged? Judge Mills called for order, banged the gavel so hard it cracked. He ordered recess, indefinite. The state was caught off guard. In the back hallway, behind steel doors, detectives, prosecutors, and the FBI now crowded around her. Her name? Brielle Monroe, age 26, black, reported missing, January 6, 2020. Declared dead, February 4th. Now, standing here, shivering, wrapped in a donated hoodie, eyes vacant, almost hollow. She didn't remember the last 3 years, or so she claimed. But she said one thing clearly: that man didn't kill me. They moved her to a secure room. No cameras, no media, just her, a cup of water, and 2 detectives, Roberts and Singh. They asked gently. She flinched. Every sound made her blink twice. I was taken. By who? I don't know. Men, multiple. They moved me. Where? I don't know. Places. Dark places. She remembered flashes, chains, blindfolds. One man's voice, deep southern drawl. Another with a camera. Always filming. Always instructing her what to say. She said she tried to escape once. Got caught. They shaved her head. Drugged her for weeks after. Then she said something that shook everyone. They said no one would care. That I'm just another black girl. That they'd find someone to pin it on. Detective Roberts leaned in. "Who said that?" she whispered. "He did. The man who owns the land." The same day Brielle reappeared, a judge granted an emergency injunction to halt the trial. The man accused, Ayanna Brooks, sat frozen in his orange jumpsuit. Across the room, Brielle's mother, Cynthia Monroe, collapsed. She'd buried a coffin, held a funeral, spoken at vigils, and now her baby girl stood 10 feet away, alive. But behind closed doors, the DA had a problem. The body found in 2020, still buried, still unidentified. An autopsy had claimed it was consistent with Brielle. But now, DNA had to speak again. They ordered the body exhumed. Within hours, the truth came out. It wasn't Brielle. No match. No relation. Someone else had been buried under her name. Fingerprints, dental records, even facial reconstruction sketches. No one came forward. The body in Brielle's grave, another black woman, estimated age 23 to 27. Shot once, execution style. No ID, no leads, no missing persons report that matched. That's when the FBI opened a second file. Title: Possible Pattern, Black Female Victims, Midwestern Corridor. Over the last 5 years, 12 women. Similar age, similar build, similar neglect by local authorities. All gone. All either misidentified or unclaimed. And in every case, someone else had been charged. Different names, same pattern. Brielle's memory was hazy, but she kept pointing to the voice. That southern drawl, that chuckle after every scream. They ran her words through old interviews, phone calls, jailhouse visits. She stopped cold when they played one recording. An interview clip from a local landowner, Luther Price. Retired, owns 600 acres of farmland outside Topeka. White, ex-police. "That's him," she whispered. "That's the one who said I didn't matter." They raided Luther Price's barn. At first, nothing. Just hay, tools, old tractors. But behind a false wall, a ladder leading down, underground. There, in a soundproof room, a cot, cameras, a shelf of VHS tapes, and in the corner, a list, handwritten, water-stained, 12 names, all women, first names only, next to each, a number. Brielle, number 7. The FBI froze. They pulled the tapes, each labeled by number. The faces confirmed it. These were the missing women, but 5 were still unaccounted for. No trace. No bodies. Only number 7, Brielle, had been found alive, at least so far. But it wasn't just price. Financial records showed transactions, from shell companies, to individuals in the sheriff's office, to evidence lockers, cash, guns, fake IDs. Ayanna Brooks? He had a sealed record, juvenile history, perfect scapegoat. He lived near Brielle, knew her once, but they hadn't spoken in years. The night she disappeared, he was out of town. Proof? His mother's obituary. He signed the guest book. There's video, time-stamped, but no one looked at it. Why? Because the detective in charge had worked under Luther Price. The courtroom was packed again, but this time Isaiah sat in a suit, not a jumpsuit. Prosecutors dropped all charges. He walked free. Brielle? She couldn't stop shaking. She didn't want to talk to reporters, but she did want to do one thing: visit the grave of the woman buried in her place. She left flowers, a note. It read, "I'm so sorry. I wish I knew your name, but I will make sure the world does." Brielle stood at the headstone, cold rain mixing with tears. She traced the nameplate, blank. The Doe of Topeka. The town whispered different names. No one claimed her. She whispered into the wind, "I will find you, I promise." Tasha Brooks joined her. Different losses, but same grief. Two mothers connected by silence. Detective Roberts knelt beside them, hand on Brielle's shoulder. "We're not giving up." Cue tension. Inside the sheriff's office, files slammed shut. Captain Hernandez faced down the sheriff. "Evidence destroyed. Cameras wiped. We know." The sheriff's face stayed cold. "No proof." Brielle broke in. "Why would you bury me alive?" The sheriff mumbled. "Political pressure, money, fear." "People like us don't matter," she snarled, eyes burning. He paused, panicked. That night, Brielle, Malik, and Tasha met in Malik's garage office. Boards, photos, tapes, lines connected women, dates, places. Northwest border of Kansas into Nebraska. Each woman a known problem. Each disappearance unchecked. Tasha pointed at a blurred photo. "Who's number 5? The tape listed her as Angela, number 5. She'd vanished August 2018. No report, no press. Brielle said, "Let's name the drinking hole she worked at." They entered the rusty saddle, hoisted its neon sign, full of memories. Patrons eyed them. They slid behind the bar, pleading Angela's story. A bartender paled. "She was taken after closing time," she whispered. Angela hadn't said no, but she froze, couldn't breathe, just vanished. They handed her a card. "Call us." 3 days later, Malik got a tip. Name redacted, location obscure. They found a deep, abandoned quarry, rusty fence, tall grass. Inside, plastic debris, burned cans, a purse. Inside the purse, music merch, lip gloss, a locket with Angela's photo. Forensics hit the site. Samples collected. One swirl of amber residue stood out. Back at the lab, DNA from honey-laced burn residue. Belonged to body number 9 from the Luther Price barn. Disappeared summer 2019. Name Monica Williams. No one knew she was missing. Now her DNA was in that quarry. Link from Price's property to outer rural land. Cold, silent, brazen. Brielle shared the discovery live. Social media exploded. Hashtags trended. "Face her killer." "Justice for the missing." Protesters gathered outside sheriff's office. Signs. "They buried her alive." "Unbury the truth." The sheriff held the line. Radio silent. Citizens held their ground. Federal agents raided 4 locations at once. Evidence seized. Hard drives, phone logs, old VHS. They arrested 3 deputies, all in Price's orbit. One held for evidence tampering. Luther Price asked for an attorney, refused to comment. Eyewitness placed him at the quarry, night of Angela's disappearance. Brielle spoke at a rally, short, sharp, impossible to ignore. I was dead. They buried me, but I remembered. She wasn't just one story. She was 12. She was all of them. She held up the locket. Angela deserves a name. She deserves justice. Crowds erupted. Cameras flashed. That night, Brielle found a message, a new number. "They're coming for you. Don't trust him." Hernandez? A mole? Or someone higher? Malik traced it. It came from inside the DOJ office. Brielle froze, shivers. Who could it be? An anonymous server pinged maps, pinpointed northeast Kansas, an old church. They visited at dawn. Door cracked. Inside, rows of empty pews. A single taped photo on the altar. Angela's face, smiling. Under it, date scrawled, June 1st, 2025. Her funeral day. They heard whispers beyond the altar. "She walks again." Brielle's voice over the scene, calm but firm. "This is the beginning. This is not the end."